I've helped many people heal their Crohn's using the raw milk diet, and in this video I want to show you how to do it. There are 4 steps that you need to take, and there are 2 big mistakes that you need to avoid, otherwise this won't work. What you're looking at here is a week's worth of milk. You have to get this down into you in just 1 week, and I want to show you how to do this. And usually this raw milk diet runs for about 30 days, but I want to show you some tips and tricks to make this process a lot easier. I've seen a lot of people do the raw milk diet and just not get good results with it, or they can't go back on normal foods, they can't live a normal life afterwards, and there are some very specific things you need to do if you want to go back to living a normal life where you can literally eat whatever you want. I've seen people do the raw milk diet for 30 days, even 60 days, and not get the desired results that they want. And I've seen people literally do it in a week or 2 and get amazing results. But you have to watch this whole video. You have to get these little details right. They're super easy, but they're not common talked about things. They're very easy to do. You just need to be aware of them, and I'm going to share with you in this video exactly what you need to do step by step in those 2 big mistakes that you need to avoid. So this here is raw milk that hasn't been heat treated. It hasn't been pasteurized. And this is a good thing because it retains a lot of its heat sensitive nutrients and heat sensitive enzymes. There are a lot of nutrients that get destroyed when you pasteurize or heat this milk. All enzymes get destroyed when you heat this milk. All probiotics get destroyed when you heat this milk. Raw milk is actually very safe to consume. I've had raw milk from all over the world. I've had it all over parts of the US. I've had it in Europe. I've had it in Ukraine. And let me tell you, the raw milk in Ukraine looks pretty shady, but I have literally had it from many different types of people in many different parts of Ukraine, and I have never ever had an issue with raw milk. It is completely safe. So we want to get our hands on raw milk, and that can be pretty difficult depending on what country you live in, what state you live in, what area you're from, but I have a video here that is a general guide on where to purchase raw milk from. So there are many different types of animals that you can get your milk from. Cows, goats, sheep, water buffalo, camels, horses, and donkeys are some of the more common ones, but most of you are going to be using cow milk simply because it's the most available to us. To purchase this amount of milk is really affordable in Ukraine and in most parts of the world, but to purchase this much raw goat milk in America is super expensive. I don't even think you could purchase this much sheep milk in America. Like, even if you worked on a sheep farm, this would be very difficult to obtain this much milk from a sheep. But depending on what part of the world you're from, if you're from the Middle East, sometimes camel milk is really accessible. So it really doesn't matter. I see a lot of people, they get hung up on, oh, goat milk is better, because it doesn't taste very good, so it must be better for you if it tastes gross. You are going to want to consume what is tasty. Like, I tried to do goat milk and I couldn't do it because I literally hate the taste of goat. You know, there's a lot of stigma behind cow milk, but cow milk is good for you. Cow milk is safe. The doctors 100 years ago who practiced the raw milk cure, they were all a big fan of using cow milk. They pretty much exclusively used cow milk because they needed a lot of milk. And they were also using some of the less popular breeds today, such as Holstein cows and all sorts of. So what I'm trying to get at here is, don't be too obsessed about the quality of the milk. Yes, we want to try to get the best quality milk possible, but most of you are only going to have 1 to 3 options. And so it's best just to choose something in your price range and that has the availability. Because this is a lot of milk and a lot of farmers usually can't accommodate this. But I also see a lot of people that get caught up on, is this from a cow that has A2 genes? Was this cow 100% grass-fed? Was this cow massaged at night and sung a lullaby to sleep? Like all these little details on, you know, whether this gets like 100% A+ on the quality scale. I'm telling you, it does not matter. I'm telling you, just get your hands on something and it will work. And we'll get more into the details on that later, but I see a lot of people get hung up on this stuff. They start drinking this milk. They don't believe it's safe because it's not 100% grass-fed. Oh my God, they were fed GMO corn, stuff like this. That stuff isn't great, but I've seen many people heal when they get the emotional issues correct using pasteurized milk. And I've seen a lot of people fail using perfect milk and being obsessed with all these little traits, guys. I used to work on a raw dairy farm, and when I was obsessed with all these little traits, this did not work. But when I got my emotional issues under control and believed that all raw milk is safe, and hell, even pasteurized milk, I was able to get rid of all my Crohn's symptoms using very low quality milk. So yes, we do want the highest milk possible, but again, we don't want to stress out about it. All milk is safe. How much of this milk do you need to consume to heal your Crohn's? So if we're only drinking raw milk, what we want to do is reach our normal calorie standard that we need throughout the day. So for me, I weigh about 190 pounds and I'm 5'11", and if I put that in on a website, it says that I need 2,500 calories a day, and that's about a gallon of milk. So I'm going to drink about a gallon of milk. And it's very important that you do this. In order for you to get a gallon of milk a day, I don't want you to just like pick this up and chug it in one go. So what you need to do is when you wake up, and every 30 minutes, you need to pour yourself 1 cup of milk and drink it every 30 minutes. This gives your stomach and your intestines enough time to digest the milk, and it also gives your system enough time to process all this liquid going through you so you don't feel bloated and just blah. So every 30 minutes, when you wake up, every 30 minutes, you should be drinking 1 cup of raw milk, and by the time dinner rolls around, you should be done. So there are a few supplements you can consider while doing the raw milk diet to heal your Crohn's. I have a video that goes over these in more detail, but one that I want to stress is using a whey supplement at least once a day, because if you have diarrhea, you have blood, and you have mucus in your stool, your body is going through a lot of protein, and you're going to need a little bit of extra protein. And we're also going to want to stay away from probiotics, and you're not going to need digestive enzymes while doing the raw milk diet to heal your Crohn's. But there are a few other nutritional supplements that I would recommend. And a few supplements we can take to relax our nervous system to help us stay relaxed and keep us out of fight or flight mode so that we can heal more efficiently. So the most important thing that you guys need to do while doing the raw milk cure is making sure we have our emotional issues straight. We have, we're keeping ourselves in a relaxed state, because healing and digestion can only take place when we're relaxed. But if we are constantly in and out of fight or flight mode, we go into fight or flight, then we go into rest and digest. Boom. If we're constantly going back and forth, maybe there's a relationship stressing you out. Maybe things at work are stressing you out. Maybe our own thoughts are stressing us out. Maybe our Crohn's symptoms are stressing us out. We need to get these emotions under control, because every time you go into fight or flight, it is great. It's not just disrupting the healing process. It will make it impossible. It doesn't matter how good the quality of the milk. You can do everything else perfectly. If you don't get this part right, you will never heal. And that's the problem I was having. I worked on farms. I tried milk all around the world. I've seen people all around the world do this raw milk diet to try to get their Crohn's disease under control. And the biggest factor that I have seen is whether they have these emotional issues under control. Now, what I use to help people navigate through this storm of negative emotions, flying through their head, is something called German New Medicine or German Healing Knowledge. We have to acknowledge that all of our organs, all of the tissues in our body have developed for a very specific survival purpose. So if we experience a stressful situation, if I don't get that job promotion, if all of a sudden my wife says, "Hey, I want a divorce," these are it's a conflict shock. It's a stressful situation. And the way that Crohn's sufferers experience this conflict coming their way, one person could be sad, one person could be depressed, but a Crohn's sufferer is going to most likely suffer this as indigestible anger. I can't believe I'm angry about this. I can't believe my boss didn't give me that promotion. I deserve it. I can't digest this. I can't believe it. We have, in every single language, we have some sort of way to say, I can't digest the situation. I can't stomach this. I just can't say. If you find yourself saying, like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this person would do this to me. I can't believe my wife wants a divorce. Everything was going so great. I can't process this. I can't believe this. And so the gut is controlled by the oldest part of the brain, the brainstem. It doesn't know the difference between a physical piece of food and something in our lives. It honestly doesn't know the difference, and humans are very capable of figurative thought. It doesn't know the difference. So if we experience something stressful as I can't digest this, the body's going to try to help us out so we have better chances of surviving. Our body's going to have to start developing extra gut cells to help us digest this indigestible thing in our life. And when the problem gets resolved, when we get that job promotion, when we find a different job, when our wife says, hey, I don't want a divorce, or maybe if you get into a new relationship, that is when we no longer need these extra gut cells, and we go into the healing phase and we start getting rid of these extra gut cells. We're removing physical flesh from our body, and we get those nasty symptoms and we start to freak out. We talk to our GI doctor. We get another indigestible morsel when we just talk to that bonehead, and he has no idea what tell us what to do. So this is how this spirals out of control. And then we start blaming foods on the issue. Oh my God, this isn't safe. And when you have a food that you believe is bad or indigestible going through your system, what do you think your system's going to do? It's going to build extra gut cells to help you digest this indigestible thing in your life. What do you do what does your body do if this is so heavy it can't pick it up? Your body is going to, from the stimulus, Mike needs extra arm muscle cells to help pick up this heavy thing. And the same thing goes for the gut. Mike is having a hard time digest this indigestible thing in his life. He needs more gut cells to help him out. And we get the symptoms when we get rid of these gut cells. So what we need to do is keep ourselves out of this stress state. Stress state is essentially injuring our gut, and then when that stress gets resolved, we have to deal with the aftermath. We have to deal with the healing symptoms. And so in the past, the raw milk doctors, they just lived in a different time. They were under a lot less stress, but they pretty much had their patients in bed rest for 30 days, sometimes 60 days. Think about this. This was 100 years ago. They barely had a radio. They had no TVs. They wouldn't let them read the newspaper. They barely let them read a book. They didn't let them talk to family members. So there was literally no stress in these people's lives when they went into this treatment. And that is very hard to replicate nowadays, but you really don't have to go to those extremities if you get your emotional situation right with German New Medicine. So one of the big mistakes that I see people make is how they eat other foods, whether it's during this diet or when they transition off of this diet. So it is okay to eat other foods while on this diet. I actually recommend to have at least like one proper meal per day while doing this. It's very mentally difficult to, as much as I love raw milk, it is very difficult to mentally eat this much milk. But the big thing, the people who are trying this diet and that diet, the one thing we all have in common is that we demonize other foods. We don't think other foods are safe. And that is the big thing we need to work on. We need to convince ourselves that all foods are safe. It is okay if you don't follow this diet perfectly. It is okay if the milk isn't have like a perfect grade A score and the cows weren't 100% grass fed. It's okay to eat junk food. Now, I recommend that you eat organic as possible and make your foods as easy to digest as possible, but it is okay to eat normal foods. And especially when you transition off this diet, a lot of people are very scared. They think they're going to go back into a flare-up, but you need to believe deep down on a subconscious level that these foods are safe. If you're eating a food and then afterwards you're going, oh boy, I don't know if this was safe, I'm probably going to get symptoms afterwards. You're blaming, if you're sitting on the toilet and you're blaming food, on a subconscious level, you don't think these foods are safe. You need to take that food critic on your shoulder. You need to grab them by the neck and throw them off your shoulder violently against the wall. And then go over there and kick them. Because you need to kill this person on your shoulder, because you cannot get better if you're demonizing other foods. You need to put someone else on your shoulders that says, this food is safe. This food is tasty. This food is nutritious. This food is good for me. This food is safe. And you need to believe it wholeheartedly. If junk food caused digestive issues, then everybody would have digestive issues, and that just is not the case. You ate these foods your whole life. It wasn't the food that caused your Crohn's. It's your perception of these foods and these resolved stressful events in your life that you perceived as indigestible. I can't believe this person did this. I can't believe this happened to me. And so in German New Medicine, we say the therapy is in the knowledge. There's so much fear in the holistic medicine and modern medicine community. I mean, this isn't organic enough fabric and stuff. It's just fear, 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 and fear. And when you experience fear and you get emotional about something, what happens? You go into fight or flight mode and it takes you out of healing. We need to stay in the rest and digest and heal and relaxed mode. That is where the healing happens, and that is where we need to stay, because every time we go into that fight or flight mode, we run the risk of putting our gut back into overdrive, and when it comes back out of overdrive, out of work hard mode, we know we're going to have to get rid of those extra gut cells, and we're going to get symptoms. I would not recommend the raw milk diet at all to somebody who has water retention issues. So if you took prednisone or some sort of steroid and you blew up like a balloon, this is not for you. Because what's going to happen is if you're drinking like a gallon of liquid every single day, you're just going to pack on tons and tons of weight, and you're going to blow up like a balloon. So if you have water retention issues, and in German New Medicine we call this the kidney collecting tubules, feeling like a fish out of water, an existence conflict, a refugee conflict. We're holding on to this water, an abandonment conflict. It causes our kidneys to kind of close up and retain as much water as possible, and we just blow up like a balloon. So remember, this raw milk does not heal you. It's your cells that stitch you back together. But your cells are powered by the raw milk. So you could drink as much raw milk, the best quality as possible, but if your cells are getting the wrong orders from your brain, because you're constantly in and out of rest and relaxation mode, this isn't going to work. So it's really important that you learn the basics of German New Medicine, and I have other videos on this channel on how to do that. I'll link to them. But I have a video that's over an hour. It's like an hour and a half long. I go over my case study and some of my students' case studies, and I show you exactly step by step what we did to get rid of our Crohn's disease so we can eat normal foods. Most other holistic practitioners, they're going to show you how to go on a boring, bland diet for the rest of your life and spend thousands on supplements, and then you still can't go out and have a piece of cake with your friends and family on your birthday. Literally within a week, my students are eating whatever they want, and I've had some students put on like 30 pounds in just a month. And I want to show you guys how to do this. But if you live in the US or Canada, what I want you to do is text this number right here, and we will hook you up with exclusive tips on how to heal your Crohn's. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, guys. This milk was very heavy, and it helps us perform better on YouTube so we can get this important information out to more people. I'll talk to you guys later, guys. I'm Mike, the Heal Your Gut Guy, and I've healed myself 100% naturally from Crohn's. I don't take any drugs. I don't follow any boring, bland diets. I've gained like 30 pounds this year, and I want to show you guys how to do that. I want to show you guys how to live a life free of fear, where you can enjoy all the foods that you desire and you just get back to your normal life again. Bye-bye.